Those who are new here, my name is Esther K, and I am the founder of Share and Inspire. Share and Inspire is a platform where I get to sit with amazing people from all walks of life who get to come and share their story on how they decided to intentionally embark on a journey to living a purpose-filled life. All right, so this video will not be saved on my Instagram, just in case you will not be able to, just in case you want to re-watch it, or you'll not be able to be here for the next 30 minutes. So this amazing guest that I'm about to have, I was supposed to actually do a video with her back in 2017. At that time, we lived in the same country, but yeah, it just didn't happen. I must say I was quite bummed about it because I do love her work, and by work I mean like her content, and that's hence the reason why I wanted to do something with her. So this woman is an attorney by profession. She's a woman of many hats. She is a content creator. She has a YouTube channel called I almost said Esther K. Wait, is it just Nikki? I'm not sure if that's her YouTube channel name as well. And I know some of you might say, but I thought you said you watch her channel. Yeah, I'm subscribed to her, and like every time she posts a new video, like I don't really get to, see her YouTube name. I just know, like, okay, cool. I tune in and whatnot. So yeah, like I said, she's a woman of many hats. She is married to a Ghanaian. Whoo, guys, how do you even pronounce that? But you guys get what I mean. She is married to a Ghanaian king. He is not the king of Ghana, but he is definitely the king of her heart. And yeah, so we're just gonna talk all things career, and she is gonna share with us how she schedules to wear all these hats without letting any of them collect dust, because a lot of us are gifted with a lot of talents, or we have a lot of talents, but do not really know how to navigate and how to just balance to make sure that all these gifts come to life. Some people bring certain gifts to life neglecting some gifts. Like, did that make sense? Like, as in, some people are jack of all trades, but master of none. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And all right, quick disclaimer. I am a mother of two very energetic babies. And you might hear me say, stop it, don't, or I might pause for a while to pick up the baby. I have a 2-year-old and an 11-month-old baby. So just putting it out there just in case you've never been on here before. And yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for honoring this invite.
No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on here.
That's awesome. I was actually telling them that we're supposed to have something like this, but more, of course, not how do you pronounce
virtual?
Yeah, like what she said. Yeah, but thank you so much. I do know how busy you are, or how demanding your job is, or just how hectic. How busy you are. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Hold on, just when I'm about to start. So I did mention that you are an attorney by profession, but I did not really go in depth. Can you just give us a bit of an introduction of who you are and what you're currently doing? Because I know that you're not practicing.
No.
Right? Woo. Yeah. So please take it away.
Yeah. So hello everyone. My name is Nakwaya, as I said. I go by just Nikki on all my social media platforms. So I'm on Instagram. I am on Facebook. No, actually, no, not Facebook. I am on YouTube as just Nikki, and then I also run a blog called Nikki in the City. So I am an attorney, so I'm an admitted attorney of the High Court of Namibia, but I don't practice law. I haven't practiced for almost 5 years now, but I work for the Foreign Ministry, so the Ministry of International Relations, and I'm currently serving on a diplomatic mission in the United States at the UN office in New York. I also am an entrepreneur. I run a business called Thursday Edition, which is a online boutique, and I sell women's clothes and dresses, and it's pretty new. I think we're about 2 months in now. So that's about it in a nutshell. I'm also married, no kids. So I don't know the struggles that you're dealing with currently, but I'm with you. I feel your pain.
Thank you so much. That's all I want to hear, actually. Congratulations on the new baby, like the business. Sorry,
Oh,
that's what I meant.
I was like,
Yeah.
no,
No, no,
thank
no.
you
Yeah,
so
that's what I
much.
meant.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
congratulations. I'm so happy for you. So, I do not know where we should start, but let's start with your career. Are you bummed by the fact that you are not practicing? Because I know a lot of people would study a certain career and then they probably will not work in that line of career, or just they will not be doing what they studied for, and they actually realize like, oh wait, I actually wasted time. Like, I actually enjoyed this more. Is that your, would you say that's your case, or would you say you're still like in the same
Mm,
industry?
I'm
Have
definitely
you?
not in the same industry, but I've always known that I didn't want to practice.
Okay.
But because of the nature of the legal industry, if you want to become admitted as an attorney, you have to, do the hours, you have to practice and take certain exams. So I did practice in as much as I needed to get admitted, get my boards done, etc. And so once I did that, then I left the practice. I never wanted to practice. I think that too often we are sort of constrained by the typical understanding of what a profession is. So for
Right.
me, and especially like in Namibia, people, when you think of a lawyer, you think of people going to court, working in offices. But I definitely think there's so much more to do with a law degree than that. And so I never wanted to practice. I literally left my job a month after I got admitted, so I never wanted to practice law. So
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
interesting actually. But have
Yeah.
you always wanted to study law, like law?
Yeah, I've always been
Want?
interested in the
Okay,
law. I
okay,
think, and even now, a lot of what I do is policy related or regulations. So I enjoy that. But I mean, I don't enjoy being in a courtroom. I don't enjoy drafting
right.
legal documents. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm actually glad that you are still in the same, can I say field or world per se?
I'm
Yeah.
actually not. It's just, I think it's, if I could describe it, it would be saying you get certain skills and you apply them in a different way to a different
Okay.
thing.
I
Yeah,
totally hear you. Okay. I hear what you're saying now. I hear
yeah,
what you're
yeah, yeah. So
Oh, okay.
totally different, but yeah,
Oh, okay, awesome. So, I'm not sure if I missed it, but you did say that you enjoy what you do,
I do.
what you're
I
currently
do.
doing. Tell us in a
Yeah.
nutshell, what do you do?
So I work for the Ministry of International Relations, right? And basically, it's quite difficult to explain, but in essence, every country has a foreign policy,
Okay,
which sort of dictates how they interact with other countries.
okay,
Obviously, we don't live in a vacuum, so we have to have some sort of interaction between different countries, and so most countries' foreign policy dictates how they do that or what are their interests when they engage with other countries. So I work for the foreign ministry, and essentially what I do is popularizing our foreign policy. So, for example, if our foreign policy says our interest is A, B, C, and D, so every day at my work, that's what we're pushing. And also, an interesting part which most people don't realize is that a lot of our laws domestically start at the international level. So basically, what happens is you have countries who come up and, negotiate these international instruments like the Declaration of Human Rights,
yeah,
that kind of stuff, and then that trickles down to a national level, and it eventually becomes like law. So a lot of what I do is sort of in that space, particularly now at the UN, because at the UN, we have about 193 countries. So it's 193 countries negotiating different instruments, different programs. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a bit
Yeah,
complicated some to explain it, but in
I
practice it's
understand.
really straightforward.
I actually do understand. Now I understand when you said it's complicated, because you know a lot of people would say, "Oh, it's complicated," and when they explain, you're like, "But it's not." But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a lot to take in, but very informative. Thank you so much. And also, you are not in Namibia. Before I say that, I do not have my glasses on, so please do keep pay attention, but you may read out if they have questions or so, because I'm far,
Okay.
so I can't see anything
Okay.
at all. So yeah, you're Namibian, but you're not in Namibia. Do you want to talk
No.
about that? Can we touch on
Okay.
that? Perfect.
Yeah.
For how long did you know that you were not going to, that you were, sorry, that you're going to be working in New York? How long was it, yeah,
Well,
before?
I found out a month before I left.
Oh wow. Oh
But I mean, I will say that obviously within the job, there's certain things that you know are possibilities. So obviously, I knew that it was a possibility, but
oh okay.
again, I wasn't sure, and so I only found out a month, about a month and a half month before I left.
How did you
Um,
how did you feel? Like like, was this a place that you've always wanted to be? Not
not
really per se like where you were dreaming, but was it
yeah.
one of those, like, was it one of those blessings that you were like, oh my god, like, oh whoa, was it
Yeah,
like,
I think I was pretty excited. I think for me, like I said, I love my work. I love my job, and I've been working on what I'm working on for about a. I was working on something else within the same ministry, and then I got transferred to this about a year and a half before I came here. So I was quite familiar with it and really like started getting into it. And New York is like the epicenter of our work.
right?
So I definitely was excited to come here for work purposes, but also just personally, I think for me, I've always um, felt a bit too, if I don't know if saying this is the right way to say it, but I always felt a little too big for Windhoek. Like I always had these ideas that people would
I knew you were
often
going to say
say to
something in
me.
that line. That's why you're
People
trying to
would
say
always
that.
say to me, "You're thinking crazy," or like, because
Right,
I was like, I never wanted to be limited
right.
by my environment or anything, and I thought that New York is definitely one of the best places to grow professionally, personally, and in many other ways. So I was definitely excited to come here. Like I was like ready to go. I was like, I'm ready.
That's awesome. So basically, your experience right now is everything you've imagined and more.
Obviously, no, and I mean predominantly because of the pandemic that kind of
Right.
shifted
Ooh, yeah,
everything. But
of course.
work-wise, like I knew it was going to be hard. It was going to be um, crazy hours, so I knew that, and I knew there were certain sacrifices that one would have to make, or certain things that you'd have to balance out a bit more. So in that sense, I was ready for it already. And I mean, I'm the type of person I love to prepare, like I love to plan and research ahead of everything. So as much as it's a new experience or new experiences, I definitely have researched and sort of planned for many things. So I it is what I've imagined and more definitely.
Yeah.
But it's something I was also always kind of ready and waiting for. So I'm like always excited. Like every day, when I have a bad day, I remind myself that this
Right.
is something I prayed for.
Mm,
So it's basically thank you, more please.
right.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so good. So for everyone who is here, basically your dreams are valid. Your dreams are not too crazy. Like, you are never crazy. It's basically
yeah,
maybe the people that you're surrounded by, or just, I don't know. I think it's just timing, and also I like to give this example. Just because two women are pregnant does not mean that their experiences are the
it's the
same.
same.
Some would crave for stuff and some would not. They're like, I just feel normal. So never ever expect people to understand your dream. It's okay. And they
Yeah,
might call you crazy.
absolutely.
And like, I read this meme somewhere, or this saying, or this quote, that actually, what something Noah, when it started raining, something, I think, you didn't you read it anyway? It said, because Man, what is that quote? Okay, it's basically had to do with people believed Noah only when it started raining because
Yeah, so I
he
think
kept,
I might have seen that something like
right, right.
he was crazy until it started raining or
Yeah,
something like that,
something like
right?
that. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
must be very happy that you are walking in purpose. And I feel like when you live a life that when you're walking a life that is not of purpose, I feel that is a very miserable place to be because you hear of people who are billionaires and who have money
yeah,
and who look like they have it all together, but because there is that purpose, like some of them don't even know what their calling is. Some of them are just fortunate enough to be to have probably been born in wealthy families, or
hmm,
probably they just landed an acting role. So, like I don't know, like they just I don't know. But then some of them don't know what their calling is, and they still that void. They feel empty. But once you discover your purpose and you actually intentionally decide to, like, you know what, I'm gonna work on my gift and walk in this.
right. Yeah, and I love that you say that work on your gift because I think and I think even the same was true for me. I think for the longest time, and I think it's a truth for most people, is that when you think of purpose, you picture this complete package.
Right.
Um, but sometimes you don't have to understand it in its entirety, you know.
Mm.
And as you walk in it more, you get a better and deeper understanding of
Right.
it. So a lot of times, just because it's not clear in the beginning, people sort of
Mm.
step away from it or are discouraged. But you
Mm.
know, the more you do something and the more you learn to understand it, the more you really get in tune with it. And I think the same is true for me as well. You know.
Mhm. No, I totally agree. You used the word more than two times, and I feel like, of course, you're saying it's the same thing as saying you work on it. Just because you're like, oh, it's my I have a gift of singing, and you start thinking of billions,
Yeah.
you put in work. You know, you
Oh,
work and
absolutely.
you keep on advancing yourself. So talking about advancing yourself, like I said when I introduced you, you are a woman of many hats. You are a wife. You are a digital content creator, and you, of course, have your full-time job. How do you balance? How do you make sure you wear, like, you know, you give chance to to wear all of these hats without any of them collecting dust? How do you do it, like to make sure that they all shine?
Well, well, for one, I try. Well, and I'm gonna be honest. I pay most attention to my 9 to 5 because that pays my bills, obviously. And if I'm getting out something out of it, I also need to put equally as much back into it. And it wouldn't be right for me to like earn a salary at the end of the month and not, you know, be putting in that effort. But I think also it's literally about making time for the things you want to
Right.
focus on. I enjoy, like, I don't do the creative stuff because I get paid, because I barely get paid.
Right.
It's actually things that I enjoy doing. It's for me, it's an outlet, like it's a creative outlet. So I actually enjoy doing them. And if you enjoy doing something, you're gonna make time for it.
Right.
Of course, the truth is that time is limited,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I plan. I easily plan. I have a big calendar. I write everything down.
Yeah.
I decide that, you know, today these are the things that I want to achieve. I don't always get to work on everything that I want, but because I sort of have a plan or a vision for what I want to achieve in
Mm-hmm.
some of those areas, I then, you know, I even if I don't work on it today, I know that tomorrow this is what I'm supposed to achieve. So, you
Right.
know, I just adapt and pivot where necessary, but I literally just plan, wake up earlier. Like sometimes I film in the morning before I go to work, or I'll film on weekends before like my husband wakes up, because Saturdays are like family days type of thing. So I'll film before he wakes up,
Yeah.
shoot before he wakes up, or like I will, if I'm going out, I'll make sure I look nice so I can take a few cute pictures and have content to put on
Right.
Instagram, that kind of thing. Like it's just small things that you can do everywhere, and
Yeah.
it'll work. Yeah.
That's so good. Someone
My
said that.
brother-in-law just joined.
Oh, really? Ah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I know. So we need to keep some certain questions away from because mommy is in the building. No, anyway, so that's so good. I read somewhere or someone said that when you don't plan, that is like what? When you don't plan, you plan
Then
to
you
fail.
plan to fail.
So
Absolutely.
that's so good. So it's
Mm-hmm.
possible, though. It's possible to actually, yeah, have a full-time job that is so demanding. Am I right
Mm-hmm.
by saying it's
Oh
demanding?
yeah.
And still actually, make sure she polishes
Mm-hmm.
the other gifts. It's very possible. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
And she mentioned something that actually screams that when you love doing something, you actually
You
make
do
time
it.
for it. Even if it means you need to crack your head in unlocking codes on how to make
Mm-hmm.
sure you run the YouTube channel, you run the Thursday business. It's possible. Nothing is
Mm-hmm.
impossible. And
Oh
then
yeah.
talking about content creating and making videos, when did you when did you know that, oh, okay, I actually want to become a YouTuber? And when did the love for makeup start? Because wait, when I started following you, you were doing hair as well, natural hair care, right? Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And now it's more of the makeup and more of clothing hauls and more of vlogs. Or am I missing? You don't really
Yeah.
touch on. All right,
No,
tell
I
us.
don't.
Okay.
Well, so I started blogging just generally, I think in 2012.
Okay.
I actually started documenting my hair journey at the time. I wasn't natural at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of 2012, I started doing it more seriously, and I started doing work with South African, because at the time I was studying in South Africa, with a
Okay.
South African company called Beauty Bulletin, and they would send me products and I would review them and stuff like that. So we did that on a month to month basis for about the whole of 2013. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's where my blogging and like makeup and stuff really picked up.
Okay.
But in between there, I think I've always liked makeup. I just was never sure of what to do with it, as is the case with most
Okay.
people. I think most
Yeah.
people stay away from makeup because they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, but they
And
love makeup actually,
exactly.
and they
So
love how it looks on other people.
exactly. So that was the case with me. And with YouTube, that like you started seeing people putting makeup on. So it became easy to go buy a similar product and start learning. And so that's how I got into makeup. And I've always loved makeup more so than natural hair. I think natural hair was one of those things in life where everyone was doing it. So I also felt like, hey, I can also do hair videos.
Just hold
But
on.
the honest truth is, I hate doing hair. I hate doing my hair,
Mm-hmm.
and that's even why I don't do those videos anymore. They're so time consuming. My hair is a lot. It's just not something that I care to do,
Yeah.
and so I stopped doing them. As much as people would be like, oh, how do you do that with your hair? Show us this about your hair, because people are interested. But the truth is, that's not something I really am too passionate about anymore, especially as I get older and my time becomes more limited. Like
Right.
I just can't afford to, put time and effort towards things that I'm not and I don't care about.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally hear you. I remember the first time I saw you in flesh. I actually asked you if that was your real hair, and you're like, yes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she has
Yeah.
gorgeous hair.
Exactly.
Everyone. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're coming from her page, you would know this well.
Yeah.
But you have amazing hair, and I totally understand why you kind of
Drifted towards that.
drifted. Yeah, so
hmm
it's okay.
Yeah.
Apology accepted. If that is
Like
an
I mean, I'll share, if I'm inclined to, like if I find something really amazing for hair, then I'll definitely share organically. I don't mind doing that, but sitting down to filming hair content,
and it's a lot of work, especially if
it's
it's
so
natural.
much work. It's so
Yeah.
much work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I must say I was like, oh my gosh, she really has it easy because your hair. I think you had mentioned that you are a combination of, is it 4B and 4D? I mean 4C.
4B and
Huh?
4C. Yeah,
Listen,
4B and 4C.
I'm a follower. I'm a
I
literally
know you
big
are. I know
fan.
you are. I
Like
know you
I'm
are.
not. I didn't just come and copy paste and say, oh my god, I follow. No, I've been
Yeah,
following
no, I know. I think I know whom I always see, so
the OGs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's so good. So let's talk about you being married to a non-Namibian. I actually had to ask her this off camera, because I always, before, especially when I get personal with my guests, I would first, of course, seek for approval. And I'm very happy that you said, you know what, Esther, I'm just going to follow your lead. And I believe you said that because you trust that I'll not come and ask you funny questions, or questions that are out of line. So thank you so much. Let's talk about I know dating and being married is two totally different things, unless if you have otherwise to say, right?
I mean, I do actually. I think for me, our relationship hasn't really changed. Um, I think for, and I mean a lot of people, and this is the same for a lot of people, and so I'm not obviously downplaying other people's experiences, but this is
Right.
just my experience, is that Yom and I, which for people who don't know is my husband, we are actually like really good friends. And I've seen, even like when we're with my parents, like my parents would never understand why we would just literally be sitting there in each other's presence, just hanging out, because that's literally what we do. And I think that's something that we've taken into our marriage and we've sort of continued. So I think that I know him so well as a person, and he knows
Yeah.
me so well as a person,
Yeah.
that those things sort of didn't change to be like, I know him as a husband, or I know him as, or he knows me as a wife. And so in
Yeah.
that sense,
Mm-hmm.
it hasn't changed. Obviously, there are other responsibilities that come, obviously,
Right.
with being married. And so, in that sense, it has changed.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, like the nature and personality of our relationship is 1,000% still the same.
That's so good. So my question was basically what I was gonna go to now in terms of cultural difference. So would you say that,
Hmm.
but by what you said, you're actually saying, and I'm speaking under correction, you're actually
Hmm.
saying, yes, we are of different cultures and different nationalities and whatnot, but we have our own culture and we are friends, basically. Is that what you're saying? That it's not
Yes.
that now he expects you to, if
Oh,
ladies in Ghana walk on their knees, he like.
no, absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. I think that firstly, both of us are open-minded people. And
Right.
when we met, we were neither in Namibia or in Ghana.
Yeah.
So we weren't being pushed or pulled towards a certain side. And
Right.
then, so that essentially was where it started. And then
Yeah.
secondly, I think our families are equally open-minded, and they're all very open and
Mm.
receiving. So no one was being, it was never a situation of we have to do this because that's what we do here, or we have
Right.
to do that. It was
Right.
more so a discussion of, how does his family feel about doing this? How does your family feel about doing this?
Yeah.
And that really allowed us to sort of form our own um, tradition and culture.
Right.
Obviously,
Right. Sorry, tradition. Yeah.
yeah, and what feels good or what feels right for us is what we'll do. And I think also we are fortunate that everyone around us, people in our lives, people in our, like our family and friends, everyone is very open-minded. I That's why for me, when people say you're married to a foreigner, I'm like, it doesn't really ring a bell in my mind, because I just see him as another person.
Right.
And in any case, I mean, the honest truth is that me, and I think that it's the truth for a lot of people, we're not so tied down to our cultures and traditions.
Right.
We're not living them as one would think. And so I don't see any need to impart too much of that stuff. If I don't ordinarily do it in my life, I'm not gonna go fight for it, to be a part of my marriage or whatever.
Right.
If
Right.
it's something that's important to me, important to my family, then of course we'll have a discussion.
Yeah.
But I'm not just going to force something because it's said and it's done by who, you know.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I totally get you, and because it's just that there are some people who would be dating. Like I always tell people, the walls of courtship or dating and the walls of marriage, I feel they are build with different materials because I don't know. I don't know if you can relate. Not in a bad. It can be for some people. It's like it's in a bad way, and for some it's not. Like you said, now that you're married, they're just now certain responsibilities and stuff. But it's not that you where you got the shock of your life, where it's like, you're not my wife, my dear. So this is what we do in our culture, and I'm very, very happy for you because some people really get the shock of their lives, and also now I lost my train of thought. But I'm very happy to hear that it's still you guys are still the best of friends, and yeah. So I'm so sorry, guys. My brain is fried right now. Apart from New York, what other country would you, if there was one place that you were allowed to move to and not to move from, like I said, you only have one chance to actually move to a country that is not your country, where would you settle?
Oh, Ghana, because my husband's from there. Or is Ghana off the table?
Fine. All right.
I mean, I regard Ghana as my other home. I've been there a few times, and I've been made to feel so very at home. So if I can't go home, that's the next home that I will find. So yeah.
Okay. What do you substitute or mahangu with if you love it? When you miss?
Oh, I actually have some.
Really?
Yeah, like
someone...
yeah, someone brought me some.
That's so good.
Yeah, no, I always try, and like if I hear someone's coming, I try and make sure
that they bring some of Namibia with.
Yes.
Okay. No, that's so good. All right. So, advice to anyone who is a dreamer, and because you find people who have so many dreams, and they just talk about how they want to do this and how they want to do that, but executing it is a problem. What should they put in their mix? Because you find business people, right? One is like the brain, and one has the finances. Some people have so much money, but they just don't know what to do with it. And someone comes like, you know what? This is the plan. This is, and then they manage to literally convince, and they have a great partnership. But to someone who is just a dreamer, this is now not. What advice do you have for them to get started? Because already, if I was one of the people in the viewer seat right now, I must say I took a lot, I took away so much, and the fact that you did not allow anybody to diminish your crazy ideas. Wait, is diminish a proper? Did I use it in the right?
Yeah.
Did I? Yes. Guys, listen, don't copy and paste. Don't be like Esther, okay? Sometimes I just copy and paste, but actually in my head I know what I'm trying to say. But okay, never mind. Anyway, so so what advice do you have for someone who says no, but at least you have studied. I never went to university, or at least you have this, or at least this, or what do you have to what advice do you have to someone who doesn't have money, who has all the time in the world? Because I'm sure if you don't have money, I'm definitely have all the time in the world. Who just has time, basically.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for them to get started?
Before I say that, I just wanted to say that someone commented that they're married to a Nigerian man. So, hi to Siku's Kitchen, my fellow West African wife, I suppose. But to answer your question, I think for me, the one thing I always ask myself, literally whatever response I give to a situation, I always ask myself, I'm not the first. And I'm not the only person who's been there, who's going through it. That's literally always my starting point. Of course, how I go on from there is different depending on the situation, but I always tell myself I'm not the first, I'm not the last, and I'm not the only one. So that always helps me sort of center myself, and then I start planning. I think we are so fortunate to have the internet, and I always feel so like, oh my gosh, when people don't use the internet for the things that it's supposed to be used for. Like, I feel like the internet is such a great resource. There's so much information, so many resources, and a lot of it is free as well. And people just, wait people just struggle to even go onto Google and search. And the good thing about Google is, I don't know if you've ever gone onto Google and typed in how to dye a t-shirt. You know, you can type in anything, and I'm pretty sure someone else has searched for that thing before.
Right.
You're not
So
the
true.
only one. So there's an answer out there somewhere, or there's someone who's also trying to figure that out. And once you find that community, I think it's so easy to find the motivation, to find ideas, you know, to just get that push to keep going. So for me, I always like, I know I'm not the only one going through this.
Yeah.
How are other people doing it? And I
Yeah.
use that sort of as my starting point. Like,
Right.
find other people who want to do, or who have the same ideas, same dreams as you, and you know, build that community. I think it's so important. And but also, if you don't find community, it's not the end of the world. Like, there's a ton of information on the internet. There's this website that I use. I can't remember the name now, but maybe I'll remember it later, where they have thousands and thousands of courses that are either free or like at most like $5 US, which is under 200 Namibian dollars. And it's a full on course where you can learn things and learn information. And for me, like, once you have information and you have knowledge, you are good to go. Like, after that, it's up to you. It's really up to you, because you can find information on how to start a business, how to register a business, how to, you know, market a business, how to get money to start a business. You know, it's literally just finding that information, finding your community, and then going. I think that a lot of times people don't have, like we spoke about in the beginning, purpose or a plan. You
Right.
know, they're just doing things for the sake of doing it. And if you do that, you, when the first obstacle hits, that motivation is out the window. If you don't have an understanding or like a grounding as to why you want to do something, the moment you hit your first obstacle, you're gonna give up, because you lose sight of your vision.
Right.
And so, in addition to, you know, getting all these resources and finding a community, you really need to understand what it is that you want to do and why you want to do it, because that is what will sort of always bring you back when things get hard and stuff like that. So find information, find a community, and what is it, find your purpose or find your why.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I always say in all this sharing inspired episodes or videos, is that information is power. Once you have information on a certain thing, trust me, you basically have the key to it. Instead
Yeah.
of always chilling Netflix and chilling,
Oh yeah.
you know, make time to go to the library, you know, even if it means you only have access to the internet once a month, you know, that's still, you're still, you know, being intentional, right? It's very sad, you know, to one day go and stand before God and he asks you, so what did you do with your gift? No, God, I didn't have internet. Really?
Right.
Like,
Right.
really?
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's not an excuse at all. Unless if you did not know that you could find the information on the internet, probably that's something else. But if you did know, but you did not even, you know, say, you know what, hey,
Make the effort.
can
Yeah.
I pay you $10 just to, please, I just want to Google something for 1 minute. That's really intentional. And
Yeah.
also, you know, look, sorry, just hold on for me. Okay. All right. I will wrap this up now. But like I was saying, I think in one of my YouTube videos, and I said that even if it means you need to buy Nakwaya a cup of coffee, just to listen to her, because if you know the person is busy. Sorry, just give me a second. Like, I'm so sorry, I'm back. Just like I was saying, even if it means you need to buy someone a cup of coffee, just so that they download certain information in order for you to unlock that dream. Do it by all means. Do not think, oh, okay, I'm talented or I'm gifted in this area. Things are just gonna come easy. You need to put in the work. A lot of brains are filled with so many people who've gone literally, who died without fulfilling their purpose. That's a long, I don't know what's written, but I know they wrote a long, so you can probably, so,
That was Well,
yeah.
someone asked to save the life, first of all.
You're saying?
Someone asked that you save the life.
Oh.
And then my brother-in-law who said that having and writing down the purpose and finding the community are two key things for starting a meeting venture, which is absolutely true.
So true.
Yeah, but
So
I always say that hard work beats talent every
right,
single time.
right.
Every single time. I
Mm.
think that sometimes we get too caught up in the I don't have the talent part of it.
Mm.
But
Mm.
I'm telling you, hard work will take you places,
Please,
you
I'm telling
know.
you.
You
You
know,
know,
because I think that even if you look at some of the huge companies nowadays, the hard work
mm,
went to hire the talent. You just need to build the company and then you can hire
mm,
the talent, you know.
come
You
on
don't
now.
have to be the talent, you know.
Mm.
So hard work always beats talent.
So true.
So
So yeah, even if it means that you have to start with a pen and is it a diary or a notebook? Go to
hmm
CNA or go to
I
your
strongly believe in diaries and notebooks. I have several of them.
no,
Yeah.
no, write it down because you just
hmm
never know. You might need it, like you might meet opportunity, and then
Oh yeah.
you meet an acquire or an Esther. Like, oh my God, I watch you guys, I follow you guys, and you're like, oh okay, and I really just want you guys inspire me so much. I want to be like you guys, and then we ask you, oh, that's awesome. So what have you started? Nothing yet. Trust me, me personally, I don't know about an acquire, but me personally, already in my mind, I don't have the desire to even give you time to talk and
hmm
work for me because I feel like you've been following me but you've not even been noting down like come
Yeah.
on. And now that she's even a
hmm
YouTube, I mean a content creator, I'm sure like that is even easier because now you can watch how she does stuff. Oops, sorry mama. Now you can actually follow her, you know, without
mm
having to meet her and her being able
Yeah.
to work. And I know like today you did explain to me as to why you're not always online and
mm
you are very busy and stuff like that. So for everyone who've joined the live, now she's doing that because she's seeing that she's getting my attention. Here, take. So yeah, I'm so sorry guys. Like I said, I did put this out as a disclaimer. And if you are going to join our other episodes, until I get a helper, you guys will be seeing me asking you guys to excuse me and all of that. So for everybody who joined this live, I hope you guys have learned a thing or two. Like I said, the reason why I sit down with these people is because some of them don't even have the time to reply to your DMs, to be honest. Unless if they probably see that, oh, it's a familiar person or it's an Esther or a Cheryl K or a Martha. You have a friend called Martha, right? And not because they don't want to. It's just that, oh, okay, I have so much reply to someone who I do. Okay, now it can be, especially when, I don't know if you can relate, but if you're very tired, you're like, okay, I'll make time, and then you forget to actually get back to the person. Not that it's not that they're
Oh yeah.
bougie, but they're really just busy, right? They've been
hmm
working on their gift for the longest time, and when you work on your gift as you progress, life becomes busy. Your gift starts demanding more of your time. So I created this platform so that you guys can ask questions, and I hope some of you ask questions because after this live, I don't know, by God's grace, if she replies to the message, that's good. But if she doesn't, you heard her life. She's so and some of them are actually introverts. There are actually some guests that are like in the queue to be on. They're like, Esther, but I'm so shy. So imagine if they're shy to come on here. What about in person? Some of them you can only get a hi from them, right? But these are people living inspirational and influential lives, you know. So hence the reason why they are here. So Nakwaya, thank you so much. I really appreciate you making time. And tell your husband thank you for actually allowing you to, because you came from work. This is probably his time or your time to work and give him time. But also thank him for me. And so if you want to rewatch this video and just feed on, if you just want to feed on the knowledge and wisdom that was shared, you can watch this video on my YouTube channel, Esther K. I almost said Esther K here. Esther K on YouTube. And please do follow. Okay, you know what? Let me allow you to mention all your social media platforms again, like where people can connect with you and find you.
Okay. Sure. So I'm on Instagram, well, here as Just Neki. So that's JUSTNEKI_. And then I am also on YouTube. So it's the same Just Neki. So just JUSC space NEKI. And then, of course, I have to plug my business, which is the Thursday edition. Also here on Instagram, and then our website is Thursday Edition Fashion.com. So you guys can go shop on there. I'd appreciate that. But also, before you go, thank you so much for having me. What you're doing is great, and I appreciate being able to, share some of these little things that I have learned and that make life easier for me. I think a lot of us are in the same boats in terms of trying to work and do other things outside of work, and it's really good that we get to share and figure out how other people do their things so we can become better people ultimately. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.